All right, good morning once again, and welcome to our sixth day morning session of our married couple online education series. So, at this juncture, let me share my screen once again. Our program will flow through. Our program will run like this. So, yeah, this is it. Sorry. Ano ba yan? How to do? Okay. Yan. Bakit ate yun? Ayan. So, once again, welcome to our married couples virtual education series. Level 1, 6th day, the Saturday morning session. And as we had seen, sorry. Ito po yung program natin. Sobrang slow. Grabe siya, oh. Kanina, na-play na po natin ang ating Junior Gok, and we will have now our opening prayer. So, yeah. Please join me in prayer, brothers and sisters. Good morning to your loving heavenly parents and which your parents, the parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Once again, Heavenly Parents, we express to you our repentance for not having been able to be on time and for not practicing the divine principle in our daily life, Heavenly Parents, absolutely as if you want us to. However, you have given us so much chances to recover, and you're given this opportunity to gather once again, and our heart is filled with so much gratitude for this, and because these are all what substantial manifestation of your great love to all of us, Heavenly Parents. As we start this session, we would like to invite your divine presence to be amidst us all, and use our lecturer, Heavenly Parents, our resource person, to be your true working instrument and mouthpiece to convey to us your love, Heavenly Parents, that we can really be able to gain and digest, Heavenly Parents, all the words that He would be uttering, as it is your own words, Heavenly Parents. Thank you so much also for blessing everyone for their good health, and for the opportunity to be here once again, and for having their Jongsong be acceptable before the altar. Thank you also for protecting our true parents and our leaders and all brothers and sisters. I pray that may we can always be united, centering upon your true love, Heavenly Parents, and your will. And kindly accept our offering as we consecrate everything back to you, our plans and our visions, our actions and our utterances, Heavenly Parents, and our decisions as well. May it can really become a true a condition and foundation for our, not only for today, but also for the next generation, Heavenly Parents, wherein we can continuously and sustainingly be able to work, Heavenly Parents, hand in hand to truly realize your original ideal of creation. Thank you once again for all these things. We would like to humbly report this in the behalf of our leaders, our brothers and sisters, all Central Best families, and in my name, Silva Diaz, Central Best family. Aju. Aju. So yeah, after this, Michael, can you open your camera? So we are going to have our morning session first documentation. Okay. Give me your best smiles, ladies and gentlemen. Hana, doll, set. Okay. Uy, kinsa ba to? Ang gwapa dito sa likod. And please give me your small hearts. Small heart, brothers and sisters. And your my favorite, Hibragi siya ng pose, ana, doll, set. And Vision 2027. Songni. Yes. Alright. Now we will be, of course, our morning's lecture will be, oh my god, meron akong nakalimutan. Building healthy family relationships. And our objective is to hopefully take away and practice this, all applicable learning as a way of our life, daily life, to improve and strengthen our family relationship. So yeah, at this juncture, since we are very late already, we will be going to the main lecture. And to introduce our lecturer, please allow me to give more a little introduction. We know him very well for having a heart in commitment to convey God's words and to really educate us all. We knew that he is happily blessed, having met the principal back 1993. He had that strong resolve to liberate God's heart, to be the filial son of heavenly parents, as well as his families would be. And yeah, he made a lot of conditions and his jongsong until he could finally be on this present time of his eloquence and expertise of as true parents, true working mouthpiece. Okay, so my dear brothers and sisters, a person who has successfully been able to lay both internal and external foundations, a doctor by profession, and our education head of the Blessed Family Department of the Philippines as well as the Asia Pacific too. It is my privilege to introduce to you once again our very own Kuya Randy Ami. Let's give him a virtual round of applause. Welcome po, Kuya Randy.
Hello, good morning, everybody. And
Thank you very much.
this is now the final day of our workshop, right? And actually, what I will be presenting is a special lecture for family relationship, how to build a good relationship between husband and wife. Okay. This is actually part of the continuing guidance and education for blessed couples that we are developing. And also, actually, I usually presented this in a conferences for married couples. Okay. And now because it's really important for us to develop our relationship, because what we wanted to build is a God-centered family. So it's really important to understand how we can really create a better atmosphere for, most especially for couple. What are the things that we needed to do, and at the same time, so that we can raise our children to become a better children for the future. Okay, please allow me to share my screen. Can you see now my screen, brothers and sisters? Okay, so this is originally created by International Education Foundation. This is being used in Russia to educate people with the principle. This is being used as a textbook in Moscow University. Okay. So this is the result of the meeting of true parents and Mikhail Gorbachev to educate Moscow or Russia to become a God-centered nation. And Dr. Jun Husok, the Grandmaster of Tong Ilmodo, they developed this material, and then uh, I just presented it, or I just crafted it in a Philippine setting so that we can really have a understand what is really the situation of marriages in our country, and what are the things that we needed to do so that we can enhance marriages, and we can influence other to better the relationship of the people in our country. Okay. So so allow me to to begin with. Anyway, I make it as a title that building healthy relationship and inviting God into the family. Okay. So I hope now you will learn not you will learn something, and then you will be gaining something that you will be that will be beneficial for your relationship as a couple. I remember when I first presented this one, I was so nervous because when I look at the audience, the the youngest audience that I have during the time is 89 years old. That is the youngest audience. And I'm really quite nervous because both of them are, the husband is a judge, former judge in Visayas. Tapos the wife is also a debt ed supervisor. Okay. And also some of the participants are really, actually, the truth is I'm the youngest among the participants. Okay. And I'm quite nervous because I'm thinking, how can I present this to these people? They are already old. And who am I to talk about this? Okay. But I was so shocked after the presentation. The 89-year-old couple stand up with a 60 years of marriage together, happily married together. And the one that they said after that is, there is only one thing that I reflected. The husband said. And then the husband said, why this only given to us now? Why is it that only now this is being given? That this should be the first thing that we should understand before starting, before getting married, so that we can really understand how we can really build a family that is a, we can say that it is a God-centered family. So that's why I said, oh, this is really how God and how true parents' power is really moving people, and how important the vision of God and true parents. So yeah, and because of that, I really started to make this as a one point of every time I'm invited to speak about relationship, couples relationship by different youth organization that is mending the barrier of relationship in the different fields. And I'm an organization ngayon that is really trying to unite families, and sometimes bigla na lang ako invite to become a speaker, and this is one of the 10 presentation that I'm presenting every time that I'm invited. So let's see how we can build a healthy relationship so that we can invite God in our family. So these are the objectives that we can get from this presentation. Understand the current situation of marriages and couples relationship. We'll be exposing what is the current situation of marriages as well and couples relationship. And then number two is, another is embody and practice basic goal of marriage relationship. What are the basic goal of marriage? Why do we get married? Okay. And then number three is reflect and renew relationship after knowing marital phases. Okay. So what are the different phases of marriages? Although there is another presentation that I have that talks about stages of married life. That's another thing that we have to be thinking of later on. Okay. So yeah, so these are the objectives, and I hope from this presentation we can really better our relationship after. Okay. So we all know that the foundation that we should practice in order for us to establish a good and harmonious relationship is started with our commitment as a husband and wife, right? Prior to knowing each other, we should have developed what we call absolute sex ethics. And when we say absolute sex, it is what we call purity before marriage and fidelity within marriage. When we say purity before marriage, there is no boyfriend, no girlfriend relationship, wherein we can really enjoy discovering the different potentialities that we have and practice a lifestyle of living for the sake of others as a key point or key character that is needed when we engage into exclusive relationship, because we have to give 100%. Okay? Or if not 100%, 150% of our being and submitting ourselves to our partner. Because marriage is what we call commitment. It's not just a lifetime commitment, but it is an eternal commitment. And when we say commitment, is there an end for it? What do you think? If you are committed, would there be an end or there is no end? There is no end, brothers and sisters. That's why fidelity within marriage is very important. Aju? Yeah. So this is the foundation actually of all relationship that we have. Okay, practicing this motto, purity before marriage and fidelity within marriage. And once we can have that, we can practice what we call absolute sex ethics. One man, one woman relationship. And this is also, whether we like it or not, this is the plan of God to Adam and Eve. That Eve should have only one relationship of love centering on Adam. This is the original purpose, original plan. But sad to say, it didn't happen. Right? It didn't materialize. Why? Because from the very beginning of our history, marriage started to destroy. It is being destroyed. Marriage relationship is being destroyed or started not in accordance to its original purpose and original plan. And because of that, family destroyed. Okay? We always say that Cain killed Abel, right? And that is between Cain and Abel. But when we talk about Cain and Abel, they belong to a family. And when Cain killed Abel, that is the first example, or that is the first scenario wherein family is being destroyed because there is no good relationship between children. Therefore, Adam and Eve did not become good parents to the children. Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? Aju? Yeah. That's why in our era today, this is a 2017 according to the Philippine Statistics Authority regarding marriage report. Okay? From 2008, there are total of 486 number of marriages in the Philippines. And 2017, it went down 436 to 434. And the saddest thing is it's still going down up until this time. Why? Why it's going down? Because of this. There's so many young people who who don't want to get married. They just wanted to what we call cohabitation. Or in short, ito yung sinasabi natin, live-in partner. And what are the reasons why doing this? The first reason is fear of separation. What if we'll be separated? I don't have the 400,000 for legal separation. Kasi ang mahal, no? 400,000. Pwede ka na makabili ng lupa na pwede mo nang pagsimulan. Anong reason, anong purpose nun? Just to separate. Just to dissolve a paper, a commitment paper na hindi ko alam bakit kayo nag-commit sa papel na yan kung hindi rin pala kayo willing to sacrifice everything. And because of that, what does that mean? It is less commitment. Kasi you don't need to become responsible. Pag mag-enjoy ka, nandiyan ako. Pag wala, bahala ka na. Okay? And this is what we call, in our era today, test drive relationship. Let's see first. Let's test. If we can be together, it's good. And if not, we can just separate. What if you have already 10 children? And then after 10 children, said, oh, hindi pala tayo bagay sa isa't isa. Hiwalay na lang tayo. Okay? And what would be the pattern of relationship the children will inherit if this will happen? And nowadays, sad to say, once you are a single parent, you have a lot of government incentives. Kaya nangyari, parang pinopromote pa ng government ngayon yung live-in partner or cohabitation. Okay? Yeah. And because of that, this happens. Death of marriage. In the Philippines, 84.3%. What is this 84.3%? Sorry, hindi makita yung ano. Ayaw lumabas. Anyway, what is this 84.3%? Okay. This is the total number of childbirth outside marriage taken from a study from 2000 to 2010 in the Philippines. Okay. 84.3% outside marriages. And anong identity ng mga bata? Diba? Sino ang magulang nila? Sino i-claim nila ng parents? And that's the problem. That's why, okay, what would be the result? Children of divorce or single parents are at risk. Number one, they're exposed to emotional problem. Okay, exposed to delinquency because they wanted to rebel. What do? Okay, they will just do what they like. If they don't want to study, they just go to school and then give problem to the teachers, resulting to dropping out of school. And if they are with friends, what will happen is abuse of sex and drugs. And that will additional poverty into our country. I have a very I cannot forget one of my experience with this. I have a office mate before. Okay? And then yung office mate ko na yon, napakalusog niya, napakalaki ng katawan. And then siyempre medyo maganda yung sahod kasi sumasahod siya ng 20,000 per cut-off. So yun naman umaabot ng 40 or pagka nag-excel pa siya umaabot ng 50,000 per month. Sabi ko, ang laki naman ng sahod mo, pautang naman. Tapos sabi sa akin, alam mo ba na kulang pa to? I was so shocked, bakit kulang pa to? Nasaan ba yung parents mo? Sabi niya, yung mother ko nasa Amerika, insurance lawyer sa Amerika, kaya bongga. Kasi pag insurance lawyer ka sa Amerika, malaki ang kita mo. Okay. Tapos yung father niya is stockist sa Philippine Stock Exchange. So may kaya. Tapos 5 school ang pinasukan niya, iba-ibang school, pero nag-stop siya. Sabi, bakit kulang? Naging curious ako tuloy, bakit kulang? Ang laki-laki na ano, tapos ang galing pa ng parents mo. Yung pampatulog ko pa lang, pag iniisip ko kung pupunta ako ng Amerika, hindi na enough yun eh. Kasi hindi na siya pwedeng uminom ng simpleng pampatulog. Yung mga diazepam, wala nang kwenta yun sa kanya. Sabi ko, bakit? Hindi ko alam kung pupunta ako ng Amerika, hindi ko alam kung tatanggapin ako ng asawa ng mother ko doon. And matanggap din ako ng mga kapatid ko. Uwi naman ako sa Makati, sa bahay namin sa Makati. Laging sumasakit yung ulo ko kasi lagi nag-away yung asawa ng father ko. So saan ako pupunta? Sabi ko, ay, oo nga no. Kaya gumawa ako ng bahay ni Kuya. Doon kami nag-stay. Tapos unti-unti, hindi ako nagsasalita. And then lagi siyang sumisilip lang sa room ko, tapos nakaando na yung divine principle, binasa niya ngayon. Then later on, pagka may bisita kami, pupunta yung mga friends niya, huwag kayong papasok sa room na to. And then pagka nag-inuman sila, sa labas tayo inom, huwag dito sa loob. So, hanggang sa naghiwalay kami, nung nag-resign ako, again, sinasabi na buti na lang nag-meet tayo, at least kahit papaano nabawasan yung ano. Ang ano ko lang nun is hindi ko siya nadala kasi sabi niya, nahirapan na rin ako, sabi niya, to go out from where I am. But I tried. Okay. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? There's so many young people today. They don't know where they will go and what will they do. Kaya nga, anong nangyari? Nagkaroon ng even change of their status in terms of sex preferences. Yeah. So this is the result. Okay. And according to Rappler News Online, 53% of Filipinos agreed to legalize divorce when they conducted a survey. Will you agree with divorce or not? 53%. It seems to be not alarming because just 53%. But this is already a voting population of the Philippines. What if they will vote for a president that will agree for the divorce code? What will happen to the families that we have? We have already 84% of childbirth that is outside marriage. How many more will be coming in the Philippines? And we are said to be the only Catholic nation in Asia. So the question is, brothers and sisters, shall we let this shape our future? Shall we allow that this will be the future generation that will be coming out? If we will allow that, what will happen to our future? What will happen to our next generation? So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you have to become a communist to fight against the government. But we have to go back. What can I do? Where do I start? And what can I contribute to this issue that we have? I don't want you to hate anybody, hate everybody, but let us go back and reflect to ourselves. Ano po ba yung pwede kong magawa? And that is the first question that I have when I understand the principle that is being given by Father Moon. The first question is, if I will maintain who I am today, shall this be the next generation that I will be creating? Or I have to ask myself, what can I do so that I can start to shape a better future? That's why, brothers and sisters, Father Moon said, we have to go back. What is the basic life goal of family and marriages? Why do we get married? Why do we make a sacrifice in courting our partner? In building a relationship that we can say that we love each other? What's the goal that we have? We have to go back to that. Okay? But before going to that, what is really marriage is? Is it just a relationship of man and woman? Or it is a transformative process of raising myself to become a better person? Because when we talk about marriage, it is maturing experience of adult life, wherein we will be creating together a creative journey. It's not just one journey of one person, but it's a journey of two individuals who became one because they believe in God as the creator of heaven and earth, and expand the heart and awareness that we have to live together as individual. Because even in the Bible says, okay, to become one. So you are not two different individuals anymore, but we will become one individual image of God. Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? Aju? That's why, so that we can have a clearer understanding, we have to understand what are the different phases of marital phases that we have. And this is what we can see according to the marital phases curve. Everything started with a romance. Actually, this is a relationship outside what we call the blessing of the edification movement. Because we have a unique way of developing relationship in the movement. That is the one that is initiated by Father Moon. It is the blessing ceremony. Okay. So all relationship outside the blessings always start with a romance. And then after the height of romance, there is a conflict. We can observe differences. We can observe so many things that is not what we want. And because of that, that is the starting point of what? Questioning why I did get into relationship with you, and leading towards a difficult choice of each individual, that sometimes leading towards conflict. And conflict result in, ano minsan, ang choice ng tao, resignation or separation. Right? Let's end up, wala nang hope. Right? Kaya let's sign the divorce paper. But never into their mind talking about, can we renew our commitment? And this is the greatest challenge. We always say that the end solution is resignation on separation. But we never think of renewing our commitment. Okay? But when we talk about the blessing of Father Moon, okay, it always go back towards the original purpose of relationship. Because based on the book of Mark, chapter 10, okay, in the passage of book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 9, it says there that, therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. But when we make a commitment, what do we say? Okay, till life, till death do us part. But what the blessing ceremony say? It should be till life after death do us part. Because we are created to be the image of God. Aju? That's why, my dear brothers and sisters, when we say going back, okay, what should be the relationship that we have? And what should be the basic goal of our relationship? Most especially of a man and a woman. Diba? What we wanted is to live eternally, happily. Right? Sabi nga natin, happy, ano yung lagi sa mga fairy tale? Happily ever after. The happy even beyond. That's why we have to go back. What is really the meaning of commitment? Is it just making a pledge? Or it is a context for love to grow, wherein we can create safety for intimacy and allow time to discover the differences. And when we talk about discovering differences, it is a never-ending process. Okay. Pag sinabi natin never-ending process, it is a continuous process of learning and developing from differences and becoming a more responsible, mature individual. Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? And according to Judith Wellenstein, she's the author of The Good Marriage. Marriage that commands loyalty requires each partner to relinquish self-centeredness, removing who you are, removing the identity of me. Okay? Because when we talk about marriage, it's not you anymore, but it is we. We have to change the I to we. Aju? Yeah. Because when we talk about marriage relationship, it is a way to experience and practice what we call true love. And when we talk about true love, it is other-centered. Not me, but it is for the sake of my object partner. So that I can also train my object partner to live for the sake of his object or her object partner as well. Aju? Yeah. Kaya nga, when we talk about marriage, relationship, when we talk about true love, it requires investment. And when we talk about investment, okay, investment and involvement means bonding power, sustain and revive affection. When we say sustain and revive affection, it is not the end goal is to separate, but it is going back to the original reason why we met each other. How much we wanted to build a happy relationship together, overcoming anything that comes in that will allow us to what we call to conflict together, and then learn from that conflict, and then that's the time that we can regain our momentum of being together again. And that is what we call investment. You have to be ready to take the risk. Does it make sense? And pag sinabi nating risk dito, you have the risk of even losing your own identity as individual, but you will be building an identity not as individual but as a couple afterwards. Okay, what do we need to do so that we can sustain this? We have what we call develop deposits. Kung sa bangko meron tayong deposit and withdrawal, in a relationship meron din tayong tinatawag na deposit and withdrawal. What are the deposits that we have? One of it is service. Always learn how to serve, how to give. Enjoy how to give and how to serve. Another is practicing a kind gesture. Even just simple thank you, sorry. Let me look at it and let me guide me how I can do it, so that I can fulfill your para makita ko kung ano yung gusto mong ipahiwatig sa akin. Practicing a kind or positive way of communicating with each other. And then addition to that is praise and appreciation. Okay. So having this as a deposit, okay, you are filling up your relationship bank account. Pinapalaki mo yung amount ng relationship bank account, and that will be the more reason why we cannot separate or we cannot go away from each other. Kaya ito yung tinatawag na invest in the marital bank account. Okay? So the more you stay together, the more you will become friends to each other. And when we say becoming friends, build companionship and have fun together. Have fun, enjoy, okay, and build a stronger companionship together. And how can we do that? Develop 5 deposits for 1 withdrawal. And when we say withdrawal, we have to be ready to pay back, because we have just borrowed it from our deposit. Does it make sense? Aju? Pag sinabi naman natin withdrawal, ano yung composition ng withdrawal? That includes criticism. Another is personal attacks, defensiveness, putting up walls. Kaya nga, when we look at each other, instead of questioning who my partner is, let's try to look at each other. Wow. Okay? Seeing your face is just like seeing the face of God. And that is the model that we can learn from the relationship, the development of relationship between Jacob and Esau. The first who show us how we can overcome hatred and how we can establish a better relationship together as a sibling. And from that model, we can use it as also as an example for a relationship between husband and wife. Because we are not two different individuals anymore, but we are just one body, the substantial body of God. And that will allow us to stop personal attack, becoming defensive, and creating walls between each other. So meaning, we have to really develop our own character. Okay? We have to strengthen our own character. And what kind of character? It is a characteristics of always living for higher purpose. That's why being single is not a hindi siya yung karma na single ka. Hindi 'yon. But that is an opportunity for you to discover your potentialities for a better partnership in the future. Kasi pag sinabi natin building our own character strength, strengthen conscience through study and service. Pag sinabi natin study, learning everything that we can learn either in books or in our environment. And service is unconditionally sharing everything that we can share to others for the improvement also of others. And that will develop our character and strengthen our character. And not only that, it will cultivate a good goals, interest, and friendship in the future. That will allow you to better curve the environment that you have. Uplift the environment that you have. And at the same time, hindi yung madaling ma-impluwensyahan ng paligid. Okay? And then, the last two phases of marital is recommitment and cooperation. And creativity and service. Okay? So when we talk about recommitment and cooperation and creativity and service, okay, what do we need to do? Learning from differences, not counting on spouse limitation. Practice self-discipline. Kaya nga, ang motto ng mag-asawa, kung titingnan natin is, the more we grow, the more we enjoy living together. Kaya nga tinatawag na happily together. Okay? Yan. And looking back at the times of conflict, it will not be a conflict anymore, but it is a form of growing and development. Because we learn how to coexist together and we enjoy developing each other as a couple. And that is the primary principle of self-discipline. And from that, we can build what we call love through the foundation of strong trust. And when we talk about trust, it is built by virtue on fidelity and commitment. Fidelity means one relationship. And commitment is not only for a day, for a month, for a year, for 10 years, for 65 years, for a lifetime, but it is eternal. Aju? Yeah. And when we talk about fidelity, embodies commitment. Okay? And embodies commitment means stick into our commitment together. And because our commitment is not just a commitment between the two of us. It is a commitment between the two of you in front of God, who is eternal in nature. And if we have always that into our mind, we can always maintain honesty and eases the fear that blocks intimacy between man and woman. Okay? And when we say commitment, that is the number one investment that we needed to do in terms of marriage. These are some of the scapegoat that we have, or escape hatches. Workaholism. I am hooked up to my work. I don't have time with my partner. But actually, that's not true. Preoccupation with the child, most especially sometimes mother. I'm busy with our children. Okay? But the quality, the reality, or the truth is, we wanted to escape from being responsible to our husband or to our wife. excessive television, extramarital affair, and alcoholism. And all of these things is not an investment for a better marriage, but it resulted into a divorce and separation. And this is not the solution. Right? Aju? Yeah. Meron nga nagtanong sa akin before eh. Paano po pagka heavy drinker yung asawa mo? Anong gagawin mo? Medyo napatahimik ako noon. Paano nga kaya? Tapos sabi ko, what if we'll do this one? Saan po ba siya umiinom? Sa kapitbahay o sa mga friends niya? Why don't we tell to our partner? Okay, total, lagi ka naman uminom sa mga friends mo. Okay, maaga kang uwi mamaya. May surprise ako sa iyo. Tapos, pag sabi niya, ano yon? Bumili ako ng isang case ng beer at saka gin. Tapos, isama natin yung mga anak natin. Mag-enjoy tayo mag-inuman para hindi yung mga kaibigan mo ang kasama mag-enjoy, but our family will enjoy together drinking. Okay. And then, what do you think would be the reaction? Siyempre, magalit, di ba? Ano ako? Pero what is the meaning of that message? Instead of enjoying with others, why don't you go back to our family and let's enjoy together? Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? Aju? And akala ko, hindi niya gagawin. Ginawa niya pala. And sabi niya after, Sir, nabawasan na po yung pag-inom ni Mr. Di ba ang ganda pagka ganon? Ang saya ng pakiramdam. Okay? Yeah. Bakit? Kasi when we talk about marriage, that should be a happiest moment in our life. Because we have somebody that we can lean on. Kaya sinabi niya na interdependent. We are dependent on each other. Not too dependent and not too independent because we have a shared responsibility towards each other. 100% shared responsibility. Hindi yung 50-50 na shared responsibility. Kasi pag sinabi natin 50-50 shared responsibility, kalahati lang gagawin ko, kalahati gagawin mo. Diba? Ibig sabihin, meron ka pa rin expectation, meron ka pa rin reservation. What if gawin mo na lang lahat? Tapos para iba naman yung gagawin niya. Okay, gawin ko to, gawin mo yan. Para hati tayo, para hindi ka mahirapan sa gagawin mo, hindi rin ako mahirapan sa gagawin ko. Di ba mas maganda yung ganon? What do you think, brothers and sisters? Yeah? Halimbawa, sa pag-aalaga ng bata. Okay? Kung pagod na pagod sa umaga, yung isa, sino mag-take responsibility sa gabi? And that is what we call shared 100% responsibility. Okay? If the other cannot do it, no one can do it except me to support my partner, my spouse, my wife, or the parents of my next generation. Does it make sense, Aju? Yeah. And once we can have that, we can develop marriage can be a healing and restoration. Resolve psychological issues, just like childhood scars, yung mga fear natin when we were a child, and we can develop a better family history. We will be changing the history of our family, the fate of our family. We will be creating a family that is gearing towards better future and better next generation. Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? Okay. And also, aside from that, we can create a couple that is fulfilled. Each individual become the source of strength because we can become a better parents together, better partners together, and each couples will become mentor to each other. Okay? Hindi yung nagmamarunong, hindi ganun. Wow, buti na lang naturuan mo ako. Yun yung sinasabi ko na instead na counting on the limitation, look at the possibility of how we can learn and appreciate. Okay? And that is the pillar of our community so that we cannot create problem to the community, we must expand this kind of heart and relationship together. Okay? And that's also the way of preparing ourselves to become a public servant. Okay? Public servant that will strengthen marriage. Support each other in service. Okay? Hindi yung, lalabas ka naman. Ano naman gagawin mo? Okay? And that will also develop balance of public and family time. Kasi kung halimbawa, na-busy ka na, ano mangyari? Tapos yung isa naman, tanong ng tanong, so ma-confuse ka ngayon. So instead na magkaroon ka ng relaxed mind, magkakaroon ka ng confused mind, and then it will develop into scarcity into relationship. Ang endpoint, kung hindi mo na ma-resolve ang sarili mo at hindi niya na rin ma-resolve ang isa't isa, it will end up into separation and divorce. When we talk about marriage, there is no separation and divorce. Because sabi nga niya, ano yung sinabi niya yung una? Ang pinagsama ng Diyos, kailanman di mapaghiwalay ni naman, kahit na kamatayan. That is in the book of Mark. Okay? So love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking together in the same direction. Okay? We should be looking at one direction together, building a healthy relationship and happy family. Kaya what do we need to do? Ano yung may skills na dapat natin i-develop? Number one is listening skills. Because by listening, you can understand the state of each other. From understanding the state, we can reflect. What is my limitation? And how can I resolve? And so that your reflection will be strengthened to better curve your relationship, you have to affirm and clarify. Does I understand correctly? Is this how you mean? Is this what do you mean of what you have said? Instead of just saying na, galit to sa akin. Ayaw nito sa akin. Hindi siya naniniwala sa akin. Okay? Why don't we ask? And that is the thing that we can develop once we have that listening skills. Okay? Deep listen. Okay? So listening from spouse perspective is an effective way of development of empathy and to better understand each other. Napakahalaga po yun in terms of relationship. We have to feel. Okay? Kung nagkaroon siya ng guilty feeling, bakit nagkaroon ng guilty feeling? Okay? Ano man lang tanungin natin, bakit naging malungkot ka sa sinabi ko? Meron ba akong nasabing hindi maganda? And then pag sabihin niya na medyo nakakasakit, what do we do? How do we accept it? Oh, mali pala yung nasabi ko. Anyway, I'm sorry. What can I do so that I can make it better next time? Can you help me? And this is what we call marital discussion. Healthy marital discussion. Kaya nga, hindi porke meron na kayong mga anak, hindi na kayo pwede mag-date. Hindi yon. That is just an excuse that you don't want to resolve some issues between both of you. Because you don't want to discuss anymore. Okay? And in terms of relationship, nandiyan daw, part of it is anger. But this is how we should deal with anger so that we can better curve and develop our relationship. Number one is never use physical violence. Sabi nga ni Father, nagkaroon na ng first and last hit nung nagkaroon ng tanggam ceremony. Right? So tama na yon. Tapos na yon. Okay? Solution is not to use physical violence. Solution is let your heart feel and understand your partner. Ano bang state of emotion niya? Kaya nga napakalagay yung yung listening. Ano bang lagay niya ngayon? Halimbawa, umuwi si Mr. o si Mrs. Sabi niya, "Hi." Tapos anong gagawin mo? As a person that is staying at home. Sabi mo, bakit ngayon ka lang umuwi? Ganun ba kagad? Diba? It should not be like that. Pwede mo sabihin, uy, parang napagod yata ang best friend ko. Alam mo, meron akong minuto doon, masarap. Pwede mo bang tikman muna? Di ba ang ganda pag ganon? Aju? And then during the time of anger, never face with another anger. Allow time for cooling. Okay? Pag galit na galit, huwag mong salubungin, huwag mong tanungin. Kasi pagka yung ano nga, yung bagong gising, pag tinanong mo at hindi magandang dating, sigurado bugbog sarado ka. Di ba? Pero pag pinalamig mo muna, okay, lahat naman ng bagay kinakailangan ng cooling time, right? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng cooling time? Cooling down. Yung at the height of anger, one should go down so that it will not be heightened yung anger na yun. And then pag bumaba na, kalmado na, that's the time that we can talk together peacefully. And always remember, get to the root of emotion. Why it is being hurt and fear. Bakit naka-develop siya ng hurt and fear? Okay? Ibig sabihin, learn from the cause of anger. Eto. Kaya siya nagalit kasi matagal na yung sinasabi gawin ko to, pero hindi ko nagawa. Napuno na siya, kaya ano nangyari? Okay? Aju? So from that is how we should deal with anger. Actually, before, parang it's just a concept lang sa akin to before. But with my wife and with my children, minsan, the only thing that I can do is say sorry. Okay? Say sorry and then reflect back. Ano ba naging kulang? Ano bang kulang ko? And then I wanted to, ang next step is I wanted to create something na they can feel na we can have a better together. Hindi lang yung I can do better, but we can do better together so that we can learn from each other. And these are the common cause of marital conflict. Number 1 is sex urge. Number 2 is in-laws. Number 3 is finances. Number 4 is our children. And ito yung pinakamahirap sa lahat. Single habit. Okay? Kung ano yung nakasanayan mo, ayaw mong palitan, ayaw mong talikuran yon, and that will always be the issue of husband and wife. Usually, commonly, among the marital cause of marital conflict, based on my experience of meeting couple, ito yung pinaka number 1. Ito mga to is part na lang to eh. Kasi pagka sinita ka sa single habit mo, like for example, naging habit mo nung single ka pa na maglaro ng computer ng 24 hours. Gumamit ng computer for 24 hours. Pag meron ka ng partner, nawawalan ka na ng time. Pag sinita ka ngayon, ano magiging reaction mo? Instead na maging maganda ang mood mo, panira to sa plano ko. Kaya ito yung minsan. Kaya nga, ang unang tatanggalin pag mag-asawa na is the single habit. Make a strong devotion and commitment that I am not alone anymore. I cannot do anything that I wanted anymore. I have a partner to look up to. Okay? That's why we needed to constantly receive inspiration through gathering together as a couple, as a family, and relating with brothers and sisters. Because from that, we can develop our wisdom. Through reading, we can develop our wisdom, and we can what we call understand the literature of being together. Okay? And when we share our best practices, share our good stories, that will develop a good virtue that we are sharing to others. And from that, we can create a better atmosphere. And not only that, we can strengthen our marriages. And aside from reading and gathering, we needed to make a recommitment. Renew our commitment together. Let's recommit. That's why we're opening the road of rededication ceremony in the movement. And also continuously developing couples education on understanding the universal principle of peace, or what we call the divine principle, so that we can value and understand how sacred marriage is and how important marriage, not only for a couple, but even for our next generation and ultimately for God. Because the main reason why we came to exist is because of the love of God. And from that, we can go back to the original plan of God for man and woman, making ourselves become responsible individual, developing a harmonious relationship with each other, and we can protect and raise and develop our environment. And that is the first blessing given to Adam and Eve when they were created in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28. Be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion over all things. And once we can do that, we will be building what we call ideal family or God-centered marriage, and we can unite religion together. Okay? So when we say God-centered family or ideal God-centered family, our next generation, or we will become a factory of good citizens in the society. Family will be the source of happiness and heavenly fortune, and we can multiply God's ideal centered families through valuing sexual organ, build the family community, and contributes to the development of our country. And ultimately, our family will become the smallest unit of heaven where God can come in. And this is the vision that we have, likened to the vision of Father Moon. Father Moon said, "What I want is to completely wipe away the walls and fences that divide the world in myriads of ways and create a world of unity." That's why, okay, he started to think of how he can do that. He said, nevertheless, here is the supreme formula in bringing true peace to the world. Bring together children from enemy families and nations for the world peace blessing. Let's start to make a recommitment together. Let's start to revolutionize, okay, relationship of husband and wife. Let's proclaim to the world that we are now starting a new relationship together, making our commitment, not only extending our commitment when we have made a commitment till death do us part. We will make it now till life after death do us part. Because Father Moon said, family is the framework and environment for human growth. If we will rebuild the family, we will be creating a better environment for our children, and they will learn and they will have an unending learning of loving and sharing together. And when they go out from the family, they will also be practicing the same thing that they have, because they have already developed a lifestyle of living for the sake of others. And not only Father Moon is saying that, this is also being said in the different parts of the different sacred books that we have. Just like in Christianity, from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man put asunder. No one can divide. No human being can separate each other. Another in the tradition of Islam, with our Muslim brothers and sisters, he has created spouses for you and planted affection and mercy between you. So this is for man and woman relationship. Okay, that's why, brothers and sisters, we are now challenging everybody. Just like into this Anglican bishop in Westminster Abbey, okay, he once said, "When I was young and free and my imagination had no limits, I dreamed of changing the world. As I grew older and wiser, I discovered the world would not change. So I shortened my sight somewhat and decided to change only my country. But it too seemed immovable. As I grew into my twilight years, In one last desperate attempt, I settled for changing only my family, those closest to me, but alas, they would have none of it. And now, as I lie on my deathbed, I suddenly realize if I had only changed myself first, then by example, I would have changed my family. From their inspiration and encouragement, I would then have been able to better my country. And who knows, I may have even changed the world. Right? Meaning we have to go back. What is the creed that we have made before? And what is the original plan and creed of God for marriage? Starting within ourselves. Let's make a strong commitment that I am the image of God and I needed to meet the another half of me and develop what we call absolute sex ethics of one man, one wife, one love. Okay? Purity before marriage, fidelity within marriage. Let's rebuild the family together. Let's recreate the relationship of husband and wife together by making a recommitment as a couple, as individual, and as a one who love our family and we wanted to challenge to start a new beginning of relationship. And that will start with me. Sharing to my partner and creating, building a family together. So I hope that with that you have learned something and you can discover or you can make use of those tips as a way for you to develop your relationship as a couple, and we can go back to the original plan of God in terms of relationship of man and woman. Good morning po sa lahat.
Wow, amazing. Beautiful. Grabe. Let's give Kuya Randy a virtual round of applause, Mike. Asan si May Andong? Nalubat? Oh my gosh.
Hello,
So,
te.
naasan si... Ay, sorry. Nasaan ba si, si May Andong? Nawala? Nalubat
Ah,
siga siguro.
nasa
Ah?
siyudad. Nasa siyudad
Ay,
may
ay.
ibuhat.
Ay, ay,
Oh,
ay.
base masunod man to siya ngaron. Ewan ko lang. Kaya
Wala naman to na.
wala nga internet, data lang. Nag-open man siya, di siya makasunod kanina.
Ah, okay.
Sabi ko, ako
So,
lang
anyway.
mo. Oh.
So, you have to remember, please allow me to remind you na itong ating ginagawa sa BFD is facilitating you to develop your Jongsong, especially in preparation for your blessing, okay? So, I hope you can be serious on that. However, at this juncture, reflection time. Siyempre, ikaw lang nandito, so ikaw talaga ang unang magbigay ng reflection. One and only. So, we'll give Kuya Michael a virtual round of applause for your reflection. Anong mga natutunan mo dong? Anong mga mas na unawaan mo at inspiration mo, resolve to do? Okay? Go ahead, take it away.
Uh, okay, good morning, Heavenly Father and your parents. Good morning, Kuya Randy and then Ate Sylvia. And good morning also sa lahat na nakikinig sa ating lecture for this morning.
Dapat pala nag-connect na lang sa YouTube si Mayan kung hindi siya nakakonect.
Oh. So, yung ano lang, reflection ko, very short lang naman siya. So, it's all about sa ano ba? Sa couple and also sa rate ng ano ngayon, mga kabataan, yung about sa ano, sa tawag ni divorce, you know, na nakakabahala sa especially yung mga new generation. So kung mamulat sila sa ganitong sitwasyon sa reality, No, parang napaka dangerous ng mga natin, mga second generation natin kasi yung live in na lang ngayon, parang nagiging casual na talaga eh. Nagiging parang laro-laro lang sa labas ba, in the outside world. And then as sa na-realize ko this time, no, we need to give more some education talaga. And then we need to, kung pwede lang public kasi natin yung need to parents about sa uh, kaning yung di natin allow ba yung divorce na nagiging ano naging realidad na ba. So anyway, and then yung ko about sa development sa being couple. So, kailangan meron tayong talaga connection sa wife, how we can give even though simple lang ba yung appreciation, very important pala sa being mag-partner. Kasi sometimes busy tayo eh, hindi natin na-appreciate yung mga simple na ginagawa ng wife natin or husband. So, parang hindi mo may appreciate yun. So nawawala yung yung original nature ng love. So yeah, importante talaga, kailangan meron kang attachments, and then you can i-show mo talaga sa magiging or sa mga tulad ko, we have already children. So we need to show yung beautiful na yung pagsama na maganda together with your husband or wife. And then yeah, importante yung blessing. Because without this blessing, so you cannot realize this about sa absolute love and absolute sex or whatever. Diba? So, medyo yun lang po ang aking na-share. So, thank you for this morning. Salamat.
So I hope Mike na magkaroon ka na rin ng ma-invite to join this seminar para we can share more, di ba? Kasi para kung mas maraming ma-educate natin, mas secure natin yung future ng next generation.
Anyway, nag-ano mo ko sa lecture, yung tawag yun, screenshot ako parati.
So, I hope na sa next batch natin na meron kang ma-invite na mag-join. Kasi yan yung isang sa mga assignment ninyo as a graduate of the first level.
Thank you, Sir Randy.
Yeah. Actually, Mike, after this, since mayroon ng tayo, hindi ko to na-discuss kasi we have discussed that this one among ourselves, but hindi to na-clear ma-present sa inyo. Pero gusto ko lang katulad ng sinabi ni Kuya na we hope after these 6 days, you will be able to religiously do the tradition, the hondoke in particular, and then you will also be able to do the tidings and bring your spiritual children from your side. Ikaw muna sa brother side, at least meron kang tatlo na ma-invite to guide. Kasi ito na din po yung actually, ito yung guide ng blessed families natin for us to be able to, in the future, achieve the chunbo. Yung final natin na mission. Kasi yun yung kasama talaga. We cannot just relax, actually. I mean, of course, you have to take it joyfully. But yeah, the Blessed Family Department is really wishing to facilitate everyone for us to be able to realize our tribal messiahship mission. So, yun. Kaya nga yung sinabi ni Kuya, yun yung assignment niyo na hopefully after a few weeks from now, Kuya, no? We can also get started our second level na that would be 10 days kasi virtual din po. But please allow yourself to invite more people. Para maka-receive po ng blessing. It's either member siya or hindi siya member. Basta mayroon po kayong i-invite. Para mas makatulong tayo. Katulad ng sinabi mo, for us to post through the campaign of having this, sa Philippine situation, yung sabi mo nakaka-alarma, hindi mapopursue. Yung or walang hindi, if ever meron mang leader na parang pabor doon sa divorce, possibly divorce sa Philippines, we can really help in campaigning for it not to happen. That is to preserve the sanctity of families, most especially blessed families. Kasi ito yung external natin na protection that we can do right here. Although tayo, mayroon man tayong mga strong resolve when we are only like, we are not the majority, then of course, we will not be able to like influence. It will take us time, more time, para mapaintindi po sa tao na how beautiful it is to keep our families, to have this absolute sex between husband and wife, to have absolute purity before marriage sa mga hindi pa then how beautiful it is to really keep that relationship. How can we be able to invite God in our family? So, yeah, I hope na you will be serious about inviting next time. And then you should, na lang din, I will take this opportunity na sana anuhin mo po muna dong yung, kasi we cannot expect other people. It has to get started within us. Di ba sinabi dun sa lectures ni Kuya? Dun sa mga testimonies ng mga isa sa mga na-lecture na, or yeah, isa sa mga slides na sabi na, ang peace at saka ang love, hindi pwedeng hanapin. It has to get among people or to your partner. It has to really get started within us, in our hearts and in our mind. Mismo sa atin. So, yeah, I hope you can cultivate that, and then this undertaking that we have has facilitated you to developing that internal ma-develop yung original mind natin at saka original self natin towards preserving the sanctity of love and sanctity of peace as well. So, yan. Na, syempre, ma-multiply natin doon sa pamilya natin. I know you're a very good person, but yeah, hindi pwedeng isipin lang. You also have to put it into action kaya. But of course, it has to get started within us talaga. So, Ajo dong? Mayroon na, congratulations because we are now, yeah, we're counting on you, you know? Because hindi dahil gusto ka naming i-push. But the thing na nagsali kayo on this it's never coincidence. It means that we are all together needed in this providence of restoration. We have to discover that in our own way. In the simplest way, maybe, we can contribute. Ajo?
Ajo yan, te, Ajo.
Yeah, that's the best. Also, bago tayo before hearing something from Kuya, mag-picture taking muna tayo para mamaya hindi na tayo mag-picture taking. Open your camera. Asan ka ba? Yan. So, again, para closing na to, una-una na to, wala kasing nagpunta, walang ibang nagpunta. Everybody must have been very busy since may Chunbo and all. Overlapping activities po. So, yan. So, smile tayo. Hana, doll, set. Okay. And, give me your hibaragi. Ay, no, your small hearts. Sarang he, hana, doll, set. Okay. Our hibaragi. Pose. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Vision 2027. Pose. Songni. Alright. So, yeah. Actually, ito po yung pinakang last natin na presentation. This afternoon will be our graduation, and I would like to in advance congratulate you. And sayang, no, hindi kayo honestly, I am in my heart, I was hoping na you have religiously finished it, you know, as a condition. However, meron pa man tayong chance na, so please watch the YouTube, okay? But we will be definitely having our graduation this afternoon, so I hope Mian can make it there. Aja? So yeah, we will before closing. Yeah, one more final say from our very precious lecturer. Kuya Randy, take it away. Just give him a virtual round of applause.
So, marami na akong nasabi pero dagdagan ko pa ulit. Yeah, so anyway, just like what Ate Sylvia said, uh, this is just the beginning and we are now thinking of making it as a regular para sa ganun we can guide more people, we can educate more brothers and sisters. Actually, ang laging winawari nila Ate Sylvia, ni Ate Tere, Ate Hida, parang nanghina si kay Randy, nanghina si Randy. But actually, giving lecture is my strength. And pagka may sakit nga ako, mas gusto ko yung nagle-lecture ako kasi nawawala yung sakit. Nagkakaroon ako ng lakas ng loob, lakas ng ano. And yeah, I've been because seeing the development of brothers and sisters and seeing their heart of commitment towards God and through parents, that would give me more power and give me more make my body more healthier. Kasi 'di ba sabi nga natin, the more na masaya ka, the more na magkakaroon ka ng healthy body. Kaya nga ang tinuturo sa atin ng Father is always enjoy everything so that we can create a better body and we can serve more and we can give more heart and love. And yun nga rin, the only thing that I wanted to ano is all participants should learn how to love God more than anything else. And pag sinabi kasi natin mahal natin si God, wala tayong magagawa but to really invite more people, share more people. Okay. And this avenue, etong series natin ngayon, ito yung napakagandang avenue wherein you can create your chunbo, you can create your tribal messiah, okay? And we are not limiting now the participants. Kung meron kayong participants, couple o hindi couple, you can bring it here and then we can let them understand God and through parents' heart. And our commitment is we will not just raise them to become to understand God's heart and through parents' heart, but our goal is for them to receive the blessing and ultimately become the owner of the vision of God and through parents. Kaya bilang Chunbo, kung magpadala kayo dito ng participants, ng educate natin, hindi kayo magsisisi kasi makakasama nyo sila to build the kingdom, build the heavenly community in your community. So yan po yung hindi namin promise, but that is what we wanted to commit to God and through parents. So yun lang, and see you more often, Michael, and hope na you can really bring your assignment para sa ganun. We can continuously do and educate brothers and sisters and build a better environment together. So yeah, good morning.
Joe, thank you so much po kuya for your very precious time. Salamat po talaga. This moment, that's why it's good na we have recording because this moment, I noticed po na base po sa ano ko sa experience ko na kasi trying hard po akong mag-lecture. Every lecture that I do, it's not the same as it was given the first time, you know. Kaya natutuwa lang ako. And then every inspiration and every session that we're having is different. So kaya I'm so glad na meron po tayong recordings po. And then I regret that myself, no, kulang pa talaga yung investment ko to listen all. So ayun. Kailangan na talaga.
Just one step at a time. Sabi nga natin sa UPTA, di ba? Hindi naman natin makuha lahat eh. Unti natin. Kaya section by section, part by part tayo. Okay?
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much, Kuya. So, at this juncture, wala na po tayong gagawin maliban sa maghiwalay tayo. So, before we part each other, I would like to ask Michael to give the prayer. But please don't forget to come 2 o'clock. Okay? Mike? Okay na ka,
Okay.
Mike? Please invite me on. Alright.
Okay.
So, yeah. Please lead the prayer for our closing prayer.
Okay. Let's bow our head and this join my prayer. Good morning, dear loving heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you for this morning that you given to us a wonderful lecture that we received today, and we pray that they can continue this webinar seminars together with our brothers and sisters doing their responsibility to give more inspirations to those people who really know these uh, marriage and blessings that your parents give to everyone. Heavenly parents, please guide all the brothers and sisters who are really working so hard in doing their best in missions around the world, Heavenly parents. And we pray that help us also our uh, all the leaders that they can uh, show to the people the responsibility as a uh, as family and as a uh, member of the Unification Church. I pray that we can uh, give more time and doing the best uh, to offer more people to Heavenly Parents and true parents. So thank you so much for this wonderful day that we received, and I pray that help us our region and also uh, our country Philippines to make substantial results and uh, to uh, bring more, especially politicians that they can lead in every province. I pray that they can bring together the our heavenly parents and true parents. So thank you for all the uh, people here in this seminar. Thanks so much for attending, especially our new uh, new heard this lecture. We can pray that you can success. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for this blessing that you given to us. In the name of beloved your parents. Aju. Aju. Aju.
Aju. Aju. Aju. So, Michael. So, yeah, congratulations once again. Mike, pasensya na po na, na hindi kayo makakasali. Pero I hope na workout na ninyo yung, yung paper nyo. Yun ba yung pinuntahan ninyo, Mayan?
Ah, oo.
Mike?
Opo,
So,
opo.
I hope you can really do your best.
Ah,
If not, good, good. So, yeah, parang naglag si Kuya.
okay lang.
No? O,
Okay lang
naka-ano
naman.
siya.
Ah, okay
Naka-stay
na naman,
put.
te.
Alright. So, see you this afternoon po, ano?
Sige.
Okay.
Ah,
2 o'clock mamaya.
Okay. Bye-bye, dong.
okay.
Okay. Kuya Randy,
Yes, okay.
so ang atong certificate, actually, hindi ko pa po napagawa. Tas, ano po yung background? Plain lang ba siya? Or katong chunilgok lang?
Yung pati, yung ginagamit natin sa 21 days, no?
Okay. Sige.
Parang ganun.
Pero ano yung sinabi niya? I-invite ko si ate mamaya. I will try to invite her. Maybe you also can tell her na we are having this graduation. Simple lang naman to dahil
Closing ceremony
dalawa.
naman na lang na. Closing ceremony ng
Oo.
model na para makita niya na tapos yung program simple lang ang program, huwag na masyadong mahaba kasi yung chundo din dapat natin yung closing ng chundo.
Ayan, sige po. So, kanina po, kuya, actually, oo, nandito po kasi ang chundo. Wala doon naman tayo, di po ba? I think that would not be the right time pa naman ng, awan ko, di ko alam ang chunbo ko eh. I did not participate, nandun lang sila sa baba.
Alam ko hanggang 3 o'clock
Kasi nga kahapon din, ang daming ginagawa. Hindi ako nakasali talaga. Sabay. Paano kaya yan?
Kahapon nga rin naka-tatlo.
Well, anyway, we will just report.
Kung hindi natin maano si ate, we can just tapos i-report mo na lang yung sa kumpletuin mo na lang yung PowerPoint na sinend ko sa ate. Ilagay mo yung mga pictures tapos yun na yung parang accomplishment report natin for this 6-day series in education.
May pinadala ka na po sa akin, kuya. Sorry ha. Hindi ko pa nakukita, oy.
Alam ko meron na ako pinadala, yung ginawa ko na
Ay, the same thing?
Oo. Dagdagan mo na lang yung mga pictures na
yung kasi di ba may yung sa accomplishment natin nung okay. Akala ko kasi binigay mo yon, yung binigay mo sa akin, joker ka na. Sige dong. Sige lang, okay lang.
Yung married couple, level 1 married couple webinar documentation.
Hindi ko yata na tingnan pa, kuya. Isa sa mga batang hindi ko pa nakita. But I will check po dahil eto na lang din ang mga Sige po. And then ikaw lang magsi-signature ng ng certificate.
Di si ate kasi BFD program naman to eh.
Okay, sige po. That's why I'm asking kaya. Sige po. I will ask Celine kasi I hope that I can or Bea to do that.
Send ko siya ulit para
sige po. I will kuya para may ko. Precision po yung aking documentation. Tigdadalawa lang or tatlo or di maliliit.
Yung scan lang.
Siguro.
Picture report lang naman siya na.
Pero maganda pag nandoon po yung yung documentation ng presentation.
Kung meron ka na picturean na
para day 1, session 2 mga day 1 to 3 parang I don't think na meron, wala po. Ay, tingnan ko po sa mga files ko pa. Sige po, kuya.
Ayan, send natin.
So, yan muna ang gagawin ko. Tapos, mag-communicate muna ako sa kanya. Actually, kuya, thank you po. Actually, na late po ako. Maliban sa matagal po ako makapasok kanina, kuya. Po, introduction ba sa participant sa candidate? Si Gilberto po. Tapos, Colombian po yung sister. Introduction pa lang naman, phase 1 pa. Napatagal. Grabe ka dragging. Sabi ko, ba yan? Enough months. Tugay kayo makasulod. Diyos ko, usab. Kaya yun, na-late talaga ako. Lalo.
Hindi naman
Anyway.
Hindi naman tayo na late kasi sakto lang yung time na natapos yung 10 o'clock. Earlier than 10 pa nga tayo natapos. Ayun. Naglalag ka tayo. O ako.